Greetings, this is Typhoon Carter, and I have another segment of my Fire Emblem 8 Reverse Recruitment Low Turn Count playthrough. With Chapter 14, there's a couple things we have to do. It's a seas map, and it's a fairly long map that we have to traverse. But first we feed an energy ring to Natasha to boost her magic even more. And then with the formation, we have to go through the right section of the map. That is the fastest way to get to the seize point, since taking the middle and the left just take way longer. Now we have Knoll here, get another kill as we work him towards promotion, which he will reach by the end of this chapter. And we also brought some chest keys during preps, and we had Natasha bring the unlock staff. And there's one recruitment we have to make here, is that we have to recruit Vanessa, who replaces Renak. And unfortunately, the route we take, we can't really recruit her with Home because he's just a little bit too slow and kind of is in the way. So what we do is we soak the ocean seal to have Myr actually go use the payment method to go recruit Vanessa. And Vanessa is kind of along the way on this route and is fairly convenient. Everyone else is mostly rescue training. The main boss of this chapter is Carlyle, who is kind of a knockoff Kel from FE6's Sakai route. And then we have Inez. His Ranger promotion is also handy here, as we need his movement to allow us to move in certain ways. We also get Natasha a couple kills so that we can keep getting her more magic through level ups. Now, Vanessa's recruitment cost about almost 10,000 gold, but it's not really a big deal for us because money doesn't really matter, as we've said time and time again. Natasha once again uses Unlock. Unlock gives a little bit more experience than Barrier, and there she is, she finally reaches A rank staves. And we unfortunately had to rig a couple of crits along the way for this chapter, as this is the second time we've had to do it. But luckily we don't have to do it too often. Now we get Cormag and Vanessa to perform a rescue chain to boost Myr towards the seize point as fast as we can. Now you might be wondering why I didn't just take Myr and drop her off. Mainly because Cormac can actually take care of a lot of these enemies while carrying her, and also because Vanessa would be a bit of a liability, and Myr's lack of 1 to 2 range also doesn't really help. Now with Knoll and Garrick and Sally, we have them go get some treasure from these other 2 doors that are where the rooms are hidden. And Sally is just healing Garrick up for some free experience. As Sally finally hits C staves. We do a quick RM burn with Knoll here, as he has to fight some enemies on the enemy phase and face somewhat risky enemy phase. Now Vanessa with her bases, she is okay at combat, but she isn't really going to be one-rounding a lot of enemies reliably. The room that Knoll opened actually has a guiding ring, which we have him sent there so that he can go get it and do his promotion at the same time. So these 2-range enemies are just gonna harass Vanessa, and it might look annoying at first glance, but really though, it's not. Because we have enough units to kind of make up for it. And then turn 3, we have Natasha 1-round KO this Shaman, where that energy ring that we gave her earlier comes in handy. And we just clear some enemies out. And we have Vanessa equip her Javelin. Now Natasha doesn't quite reach the door that we need her to reach, but instead we'll just farm some more kills for Natasha because we do need her to hit a high enough warp threshold, as her warp range of 7 right now isn't too good. Now, there is a priest with a sleep staff, but the hit rates on that is just so low that it doesn't really matter. And we have Sally unlock the door here for some experience, and Garrick is going to basically just farm off these enemies for free for the upcoming enemy phase. Now we have to make sure that we get Tethys as far up as she can so that she can keep up with the army, which is where the extra mounts that we sent came in handy. Now this upcoming enemy phase isn't too precarious for the most part, and is fairly straightforward. Garrick will get harassed by a couple of enemies at 2 range, but given the way we placed them, 2 of them will have to suicide into him anyways. Vanessa had to dodge some very scary enemies, including the archer who could have actually killed her, but the archer luckily had iffy hit rates. We had Natasha put that unlock staff to use once more, and for this upcoming turn there is one interesting thing, is that there is a certain area that we don't want to cross, and you might have noticed that there were several enemies in the main throne room. One thing of note is that if you actually go past the armor knights and end your turn there, it will actually make them become aggressive and approach the player. And if we do that, that's not really good for us because we don't want them to block the way to seizing. Cormac is just so powerful that he can just carry Myr and still 1-round KO enemies easily. And then we do another rescue chain for Tethys, and we do this to make sure that she gets close as we can. We don't want to go past the armor knights, and we have to be very strict with our positioning. And then finally, we have Tana get the Hamern staff, which will be very important for us in the last couple of chapters. And then Garrett can kind of just kill whoever he wants here, because it doesn't really matter at this point. That priest has about 20% hit on Kyle or so. It's not very good, but it doesn't really matter too much. Anyways, what we do here is we have Cormac get danced by Tethys, and then what we're going to do next is we need to take advantage of the enemy's movement order on enemy phase, and we do that by placing Myr in a very specific way. We place her right next to the sniper and sort of corner the sniper, well not really. And Garrett gets that energy ring, which we definitely need for Natasha. And then we have Knoll get the guiding ring so that he can promote the summoner. For the rest of our members here, for example Natasha, she's just getting some more kills so that she can get as much experience as she possibly can. And Nintana just kills this priest just for the hell of it. For the rest of the groups here, it doesn't really matter. One thing I should mention is that there's also a secret shop, but like it's a bit out of our reach to get there, given what we have to do for this upcoming enemy phase. Now we rescue drop Tethys closer so that she can dance Myr for next turn, as Myr is just short of the throne. One thing to mention about the GBA enemy priority is that enemies that attack at 1 range normally goes first, and then enemies that can attack at 1 to 2 range, and then it would go to 2 range finally, normally. Although I think promoted classes also generally tend to go a bit later than unpromoted enemies. And one thing to note is that the fighters in the throne room actually have hand axes. So what we can actually do is have the fighters attack Myr at 2 range. And then we put Myr in such a way where there's only 2 angles for the fighters to attack her. By putting Myr the way we did, this makes the sniper just attack Cormac instead, and actually allows Myr to have a very good chance at surviving, as I just showed right now. Now the sniper can't attack Myr at all, so the sniper has to move out the way to attack Cormac instead. One thing about the wind sword is that when attacking from 2 range, the user of the wind sword gets his strength cut in half, as Cormac just effortlessly kills Carlyle with ease. Now at this point, we're just doing a couple of last minute adjustments, and then at this point, there isn't really too much else left for me to say for the most part. And then we did a bit of an interesting decision by having Sally grab the chest. In hindsight, I should have just used a staff usage, but I figured the Dragon Spear might have been handy, but later on I realized it wasn't. And finally we have no promote the summoner. And now that we've gotten just about everything that we need, I think we are almost about ready to seize, as we just get a filler kill for Syrene. And yeah, that is chapter 14 cleared in 6 turns. I will see you guys next time.